Go ahead.
The Lord Almighty, Yahweh, will take vengeance of them in the day of judgment, and putting fire and worms in their flesh, and they shall feel them and weep forever.
Forever. So the Most High gonna judge you nations, man. Hey, these other nations, they counted Israel as shit, as dung. You know? But hey, the scriptures, this is the greatest underdog story in history. The people that's in the ghettos and the slums, these are gonna be the next people to rule the earth. And the people that's on top, the so-called white people, they're gonna be the ones at the bottom, going back to the caves, cave beast. So easy a caveman can do it. Right? And we already seeing the so-called black man, the Latino man, the native, they getting raised up right now. That's why all the nations, all the women, the so-called white woman, who she want now? She want Jake. The Asian woman, who she want now? Jake. You know, the Elamite woman, who she want? She want Jake. Everybody want Jake. And that's the first sign of you losing power, is when your woman start going to the, switching sides.
Yeah.
Because a woman is, what is it?
Hypergamous.
Hypergamous. So they go wherever the power's at.
They smell it.
They smell it. Yeah, they smell it like a shark. Like a shark smell blood. That's how a woman smell power.
Like
so that's why you see all these women of the other nations, they coming over to the dark side. Hey, they're coming over to the dark side. You know why? You know why? Because ultimately this is where the power gonna be at. There's a power switch going on. All right?
Hey, I was my fight, but I was gonna say, like how you see animals or birds, like they migrate or they get out the way before like a hurricane or some disaster comes.
Yeah.
That's exactly how the senses of these women is, because like
they birds.
Yeah, they birds.
All right, Shalom. Call Lord Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who teach in world peace, and infinite salutations to the elect that are scattered abroad doing this work in truth and in sincerity. I'm the brother of Al Gabar, coming at you with a quick lesson. All right, Isaiah 4:1, and the harsh reality coming to you women. All right. And I played that video from our recent camp video, because we went into the word hypergamous, and we brought that word out. Hypergamous, it describes someone who marries or dates a partner of a higher social status or class than themselves. And that's, that describes the woman. Okay, the average woman is hypergamous. These women want to go where the power's at. Okay, now with all these things that are taking place on the earth, the wars and rumors of wars and tariffs, we're entering into a very harsh time called Jacob's trouble. All right, and it's going to be a hard time for everybody, but especially these women out here. All right. And, right now, these women, they seek after, the drug dealers and the scammers and wherever they think the power's at. But soon there's going to be a great power switch where the Most High is going to raise up his men. Okay, and these women are going to come flocking. All right, Isaiah 4:1, is getting ready to take place. Because they're talking about in the next few weeks, these stores are going to be empty. All right, and the scriptures talk about how the woman is the weaker vessel. So not a good time to be a single woman, and we live in a society with a bunch of single women who are out here playing the field, playing a bunch of men. You got 6 different men, 10 different men, for 10 different reasons. You got one man that, takes care of the bills, another man that takes you out to dinner. They play in the field, but soon all of that shit's going to come to an end. And a lot of these women are really going to be, trodden down in this time. All right. But I also got this video queued up from the elder in Vegas. All right, I'm gonna let this play a little bit. But Isaiah 4:1 is gonna be a harsh reality for you women, man. And Isaiah 4:1 is women that are gonna be saved of the elect, not just any old woman, not the nigger woman. The nigger woman ain't gonna be saved, man. She's been polluted with equality, women's liberation, whatever a man can do, I can do better. But see, all these proud women and masculine women, you're gonna have all the time in the world to put that masculinity to the test, because this society is about to go into anarchy, man. All hell is getting ready to break loose, right? And you single women, you're gonna be out there to try to defend yourself. You're gonna end up getting murked. All right. So let me play this real quick from the elder.
So this is lining up for catastrophe, economic catastrophe, and if you think it's bad now, just wait till later. And these women, they're seeing where it's heading, and they don't have any men, they don't have any mates, they don't have any husbands, and what you're gonna see in this clip. Some of these women are post-war women. These are older women that didn't live their lives. They didn't have their fair share of men. Didn't really have any value for any of them, or else they would have stuck with their men.
Right, and really, a woman is supposed to only be with one man, right? But you see, you got all these. We live in a wicked society where these women, they'll get up in age, and that's why, hey, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, man, because he was snapping on these women, because these women will be up in age, right? Be 50, 60, 60, used up, and now she wants to settle down, but she done, already had multiple men, and the video he's talking about, it's entitled "Lonely Women Are Finally Admitting I Think I'm Gonna Die Alone." All right. You got a lot of women that, are single, quote unquote single, and they still getting popped. They don't got no husband. They don't got no man that is really, because men are waking up to the bullshit of women. Okay. Dealing with a woman nowadays is just an emotional roller coaster. You dealing with a demon, right? We'll play a little bit more.
So now they're voicing their concerns. All right, they're crying out for sympathy, that they're on their own, hoping that there's gonna be some compassionate simp that's gonna put on his cape and run to the rescue. But the spirit that's on these men right now, yeah, it's not looking too good. But it reminds me of the dynamic of the relationship between Israel and the Most High himself. Israel was joined unto the Most High in marriage through the covenant. That was pretty much like the wedding vow, all right, where we admitted to the agreement that we would keep his law, statutes, commandments, his judgments. We would hearken to his voice.
Right. So first and foremost, let me grab this. Okay. This is Isaiah 32:9. It says, "Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters, give ear unto my speech." Yeah, you got a lot of women that are at ease, careless women, do as thou wilt, living wicked lifestyles, OnlyFans, harlots, women that are completely out of order, masculine, women that are at ease, and got a care in the world. Hey, the Lord is telling you to rise up, wake up, hear the voice of the Lord, which is through the prophets, because we're warning you of a time of great distress and anguish, right? Where you women are going to be very, very vulnerable, you know, because you're the weaker vessel. You know, men are naturally built strong. Women don't have the strength of a man. So in that day, you single and all hell's breaking loose, you better believe your next door neighbor has been watching you. You know, he's gonna come in there, take your goods, and he's gonna take you. You know, you might have a daughter. You know, gonna take you and your daughter. This is the seriosity of the times that we're coming into. You know, you single mothers. All right. You know, but on the other end of that, you're also going to have, Isaiah 4:1 taking place. Because going back to that word, hypergamous, how women, they flock and they seek after power. Well, the men of the Lord are about to be, exalted. All right. And these women are going to see that. All right. But the only ones that are going to be accepted in this, this covering and this safety is going to be women that are, humble, lowly, ready to serve, quiet. Really a lot of our women, they're going to die here, man. Even the woman, you might have a woman right now. For brothers, you might have a woman, and she might not be, Isaiah 4:1 compatible, so to say. All right. So that's something you also got to consider. All right. But it says Isaiah 32:9, rise up, you women that are at ease, hear my voice, you careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women. Yeah, and these women are starting to feel it. Men are starting to wake up to the bullshit, And ultimately, when this society crashes, you women are going to be in a great deal of trouble, man. All right? Shit. You're going to see why you need a man. The Most High is going to make it known why you need a man. See, a man of the Lord, really men don't, when it comes to protection and safety, men don't need women. All right? The woman needs us, and we're coming into a time where, protection is going to be needed. And see, our protection as the men of the Lord, our protection is going to be coming from the Heavenly Father. And women are going to see the power because the men of the Lord are going to have food in the middle of a famine. The men of the Lord are going to be, drinking, having water, having substance, while everybody else is killing each other. So that power is going to be shifted to the men of the Lord. And what's going to happen is you're going to have women that's going to come flocking, It could be, you might have 100 women cleaving onto you. And it's not just going to be women. You're going to have people in general that's going to be cleaving on to the men of the Lord. All right. But see, Yahweh Shai has given the men of the Lord discernment to see whether, somebody is sincere or not, if someone's a righteous individual or just a demon. All right. You might have 100 women try to come up to you, and it might only be 2 or 3 that's, Isaiah 4:1 qualified, ready to humble that's humble, When it says Isaiah 32:11 or 10, it says, many days and years shall you be troubled, you careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Yeah, so all the benefits and the food stamps, the Section 8, all of that shit, the devil is about to cut all that shit off, and there's going to be no more food in the stores. All right, so what it's going to turn to is a very deadly situation where people are going to be killing each other. Women are going to be getting taken and ravished. The scriptures talk about that, how, women are going to be, wives are going to be getting ravished. All right. So what's going to happen is these women are going to be cleaving to a man of the Lord. All right. And you women, all right, are going to be sharing a man That's the harsh reality coming to you women. You know, monogamy, you know, is a damn lie, and it really is you know, a Western idea going back to the ancient world. You know, men always, you know, always had more than one wife, you know, which I'm gonna play a video at the end of this video going into that. All right, but it says, but hey, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we're going back to the ancient world. The Lord is about to bring this world back to the ancient world, right? And trust me, in that day, you women that might have a problem with it, you're not going to have a problem with it because your life is going to be on the line. All right. When you start seeing death, you know, when she starts seeing death and blood, all right, that demon that's on you, you know, your woman is going to disappear. You know, when shit gets real, that's when these women are going to humble the fuck down. All right. And it's coming soon, right? But it says, Isaiah 32:11, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled, you careless ones, strip you and make you bare and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Yeah, because there's a time of mourning that's coming. You know, and right now, especially the so-called Black woman, Latino woman, Native American woman, they live carelessly, you know, carefree. Most of them are on OnlyFans, you know, selling their body, you know, prostituting themselves, you know, defiled, and all that shit's that shit is done, you know. So these women that are at ease, a time of trouble is coming to you, right? But you got women that are, you know, humble, quiet, ready to serve, that the Lord has set up, that's going to be guided to the men of the Lord, right? Because women are naturally hypergamous. Going back to that word, hypergamous, they want to marry where the power's at. That's why all these young girls, you see all these young girls, they trying to get with the celebrities, right? The scammers and the ball players, because they just want to go where the power's at. But soon the power is going to switch, where the power is going to come to the men of the Lord. So you're going to have you know, and you're going to have an abundance of women. All right. In the time we coming into. But like I said, you might have 100 women come up, and there might only be 3 or 4 that's, you know, got a good head on her shoulder, so to say. Because most of these women is through. Right? Isaiah 4:1, it says, and in that day, what day? The time of Jacob's trouble that we entering into. And this is the harsh reality that's coming to you women, man. All right? And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. 7 just means completion. So in the time we're coming into, 7 women, and it could be 50 women, 100 women, 10 women, 3 women are going to be taking hold of one man, and that man is a man of the Lord. Ultimately, all right? All right, it says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So in that day, the only thing a woman's going to want, you know, is for you to, you know, bring protection. And it said that only let us be called by thy name, you know, because these women are going to be, you know, how does a woman take on your name, you know, through sex, you know? So these women are going to be, you know, these women that are predestined for salvation. Ultimately, Yahweh Shem Yahushai has these women set up, you know, to bring forth the nation. All right. Because a lot of our people are about to get ready to die. Okay. And in that day, you know, she ain't gonna worry about where you taking her out to eat, or if you're taking her to the mall. You ain't gonna have to impress her, because what's gonna be happening is gonna be so much death. All she's gonna want is some protection, you know, and she's not gonna worry about sharing you, because she understands that if she act up, she can get kicked to the curb. And she's already seeing women getting raped and killed and blood everywhere. Okay, so this is the reality that's coming. All right, And part of the woman's reproach is that fucking equality, all of that shit, you know, equal rights and shit. Oh, hey, man, that's, hey, you're going to put equal rights and equal fights to the test. We're going to see how that works out for a lot of these women, right? And not to mention, you're going to have a shortage of men. There's not going to be a lot of men out here. A lot of these men that are out here, first of all, big population, a big percentage of the men are Moes, you know, they're homos, all right? And then the men that are left, a lot of these men are going to be shipped off to go fight in World War III over there in the Middle East. So there's not going to be a lot of men here, all right? And the scriptures go into that. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 33. It says, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn having no husbands. We already seeing that now. Women are mourning because they don't got no man, all right? Because no man wants to deal with them. Men are waking up to the bullshit of these women, all right? But how much more in that day, in the time of war, when a lot of these men get drafted into World War III to go fight in the Middle East? That's coming, right? It says the women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers, all right? So it says, and the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Yeah, a lot of these men are getting ready to die of starvation, right? Getting sent off to war over there in the Middle East. If you get sent off to war, you ain't coming back. All right, you dead. All right, you done. All right, let me pull this. Yeah, this is a good one. But this is Isaiah 13 and 12. It says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Yeah, and that's the men of the Lord are going to be exalted during this time. During this time, while all hell is breaking loose, no more food, no more water, lights out for America, people getting slaughtered and killed, the men of the Lord, the men of Yahweh Shemi Awashai are going to be exalted, eating, you know, having shelter, you know, being protected, being guided by the Holy Spirit. All right. And see, women and people in general are going to see the power, and they're going to try to, cleave to the men of the Lord. And some are going to be accepted and some are going to be rejected. All right. But the Lord said he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold. All right. The men of the Lord, our value is about to show on a different level. Okay. And the harsh reality that's coming to you women is that you need a man, and you've been lied to your whole fucking life, that you don't need no man. You know, you can do bad all alone. You know, that we're equal. Men and women are equal. You've been lied to your whole fucking life. And that harsh reality is going to smack you in the face. And the other part of the harsh reality is that you're going to share a man. All right. And you have a lot of women that's in the spirit of, oh, well, I'll just have to die alone. Hey, die alone, bitch. You're going to die alone then. All right. That means you're not of the elect. You're going to have to come back in the kingdom, reborn in your right mind. And then you're going to share a man anyways. All right. This is Isaiah 32 and 2. It says, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind. And that wind represents destruction. So a man is going to be protection in this time. Right? You got to really envision this, envision, because it's coming. The American society collapsing. There's no more food in the stores. People are going to be killing each other. Women are just going to be vulnerable. Right? It says, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So a man is going to be protection in that day, man. Okay, a man of Yahweh Shemi Awashai is going to be, a hiding place from the wind, from that destruction. All right, so yeah, Isaiah 4:1 it's coming, you know. So brothers that, you know, you ain't got women or whatever, you might not have, hey, don't worry, you know, the Lord got women that are set up, that, you know, are humble, quiet, virgins, you know, set up that the Lord is gonna, you know, give unto you, that are gonna be cleaving, you know. And these women are women of the elect, you know, in order, women that are in order. And really, you might have a woman, she might not be in order, but when ship hits the fan, her ass is gonna get right in line, right in order. When she starts seeing enough blood on the streets and she starts seeing women getting taken and ravished, you better believe she gonna get in fucking order. And if not, then she's next. All right. It's the reality of it. So yeah, that's it. You know, call on Yahweh Shemel Shai. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. We'll close it out.
Good evening, judges. Biologically, sex is designed for one main purpose: procreation. Anything else, that's extra. The female reproductive cycle comes around once a month. For a man, it's every day. For each sexual act, the woman's one egg is matched by the man's 120 million sperm cells. Now let's do some calculation. 120 million sperm cells a day, every day, as opposed to one egg a month, every month, means, assuming all the cells are viable, that it will take only 30 men to impregnate all the women in the world. This points to one clear fact: a man is, by nature, polygamous. Monogamy and fidelity are unnatural situations promulgated by religious beliefs and social pressures. Take those away, every man will cheat. It's simply biological. Now let's look at the extra. It's a known fact that women, for the most part, are more emotional than men. So it's natural that after a sexual encounter, she'll be attached. But because a man is visual and logical in nature, there's no emotion involved. For him, it's just a physical release that's got nothing to do with love. A man loves his woman by protecting and providing for her. Period. It's really quite simple. For a man, the physical and the emotional, two separate entities. Thank you.
Isaiah 60 and 21 and 22, the points in 22. Thy people.
All right, hey, so with that, hey, call Lord Yahweh Shemiel Shai, Shemar Kodash. Straight to the point, Lord, whether it's edifying. The next time, shalom.